Hey, Lavar. It's Coop here. Now, unlike the sports writers, you might not know who I am, but me and Nigel know who you are. You see, we've been watching from the jump, from the Chino Hills days. We've been there through the ups and downs, the Louis Vuitton store theft in China, whatever you might want to call it, to two of your sons being successfully drafted into the NBA. Congrats. That's no small feat, right? You have to have the utmost confidence in your sons, constantly be talking them up, and that's something that you've done as a father, and that's something that I can really respect. But we all know that orchestrating basketball at the highest level requires just a bit more than having confidence and talking up your two sons. So, you've created an empire around them. If there's one thing you're good at, Lavar Ball, it's cutting a promo. Whether it be reality shows with your name on it, ESPN interviews, hell, even telling Molly Queerum that you would switch gears with her whenever she wanted. You do it the best, man. But here's the thing. You do know that you don't have to cut a wrestling promo every 2 seconds, correct? You're not constantly promoting the UFC Heavyweight Championship of the world. You don't need to constantly be saying blanket statements without any substance. And in the case of what we're going to be talking about today, it could backfire. No, I tend to think, though, that you do everything for a reason. I don't subscribe to that theory that you're somehow just throwing random words out into the universe with, no causal meaning to them or just saying things to say them. No, I know you. To a certain extent. I don't know him as a person, but I feel it as though you are almost an evil genius, a mastermind, pulling the strings behind the scenes. So what we're going to talk about today, your recent comments about Lonzo and your son LaMelo. To the untrained eye, just another random rambling, through which people can see you and you're just going on and it's just LaVar. No. You say things, you mean them. And I know that much to be true. This is Spreading the Floor, episode 46. I'm your host, Jacob Koopman. Directly to my left, my co-host,
Nigel Petty Fernandez.
How you doing, Nigel? Good?
I'm doing great. How you doing?
Good, man. Listen, we got some drama. We got some juicy drama within the NBA community that we got to get into. I love it. As I said on this podcast previous times, I don't know how many different podcasts I've said this in, I love the drama in the NBA.
That's what it's about.
I live for the drama. And I love analyzing players and analyzing teams, but the drama? I love it.
The NBA is a reality TV show.
It is at times.
Off the bat, that's what it is.
It is. It is.
Let's talk about Lonzo.
On ESPN Radio.
Yeah.
So essentially with Lonzo, I guess he called in to an ESPN radio show, and in an audio segment, he kind of came out and he said he likened Lonzo's role on the Pelicans to well, he used the host as an example. He said, he said to the host, what would you do, right, if they brought you in because you're good at talking to ESPN Radio, and then the second you got there, they switched you over and they made you a janitor? Wouldn't you be upset? What LaVar was trying to assert was that they weren't using Lonzo correctly in that New Orleans system, and that they weren't playing to his strengths, more to his weaknesses, and that he'd rather see Lonzo get out of there in free agency or on the trade deadline that's coming up in about a week. It's a typical LaVar Ball statement, right? It's got a lot of pop to it, has a lot of pop coming off the bat, but if you look into it at a glance, it wouldn't seem like he has any substance to it. My problem with LaVar Ball's statements is that while he might have a little bit of cadence to what he says, and I might get a lot of fire for the stuff I say on this podcast, he says it in a way that doesn't open up the dialogue that well, right? He says these big blanket statements. Lonzo should get traded from New Orleans. Well, why? Oh, well, because they misuse him. Yeah, how? I think he knows how. I just don't like the way he postulates and the way he presents himself. He doesn't, because he screams.
The floor is not open.
It's the floor
for any criticism.
He doesn't spread the floor that well.
No, he does not spread the floor.
He's good. He's, like I said, he's good for cutting a promo.
No, absolutely.
But not much else.
Yeah.
And I like I said, I do think he really I think he has points, and I think he thinks through what he says.
Yeah.
Like he's definitely thought. I mean, of course, it's his son.
Oh yeah.
Who knows more about their son than their father?
Absolutely.
And the way that I'm sure he's trained.
Yeah.
Lonzo, LaMelo, LiAngelo.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
He knows their play styles. He's seen enough film. I'm sure he watches all the games. He knows what his sons are capable of. That's not the issue. The issue is his just the cadence with which he delivers. So, yeah, do I think that they could be using Lonzo differently? Sure. But in what sense? Lonzo's having a great shooting year. I like the position that he's in on the team. Sure, you can explore other options. I tend to think that you just keep him where he is in terms of, free agency, trade deadlines. I think he stays where he is, how he is on the Pelicans. But again, LaVar would know better. My problem with LaVar is that he simply just doesn't expand on his statements.
All that is fair. And he'll give you all that. We're talking about the same guy who would, go and stop basketball games, yell at his kids' high school coaches and all that. Like you said, he's no amateur when it comes to the drama. He loves the attention.
Right.
But this is where I have the problem with it. And it's like, yes, I see your point. It's like, yes, he doesn't open the floor to debate. But in my eyes, can I be honest with you, man? He doesn't need to. He doesn't need to open the floor up to debate. He told us that his son was going to be a Laker. We called him crazy.
Everyone did.
What happened?
His son became a Laker.
His son became a Laker. He said he'd get all his 3 sons into the NBA. What happened next? All his 3 sons went into the NBA.
Came close because his
10-day contract. You know what I'm talking about.
Okay, fine, fair enough.
I'll give him that.
If we're splitting hairs, fair enough. Yeah.
All right. Everything that he says comes true. And you know what? I like this Pelicans team. I like it the way it is. I think Lonzo should stay there. I think Lonzo's a key piece of that. But in my eyes, LaVar has done more than enough to let me as a fan back him up. Let him do what he wants. If he wants Lonzo out of there, get him out of there. Do whatever LaVar says because he's a businessman. He knows what he's talking about, and I trust him. I'm excited, actually. We talk about the NBA is just a reality TV show. I'm excited just to see what the hell he's going to do, where he's going to go, what LaVar's, what his plan is. Because you know what? Like we said, he's an evil genius. The guy knows what he's talking about. He has an idea. He has a vision. I say let him go free.
Here's my thing. Right?
Go ahead.
I think it's almost like we're arguing 2 separate points, but we're almost getting to the same conjuncture.
Yeah.
I tend to think that LaVar Ball, through what he's shown us, right? He's gotten all 3 of his sons technically to the NBA. That's insane.
Yes.
That's insane. He said that. Nobody believed him. You're right. But doesn't that assert in itself that this man has some sort of untapped knowledge that just the rest of us don't have as NBA fans, as NBA watchers? So if you have this talent, I'm going to call it a talent.
Yes.
I'm going to call it what it is.
Yes.
Talent for knowing basketball. Sure, he wasn't the best player, but neither was Skip Bayless, and Skip Bayless has a contract from Fox. If he has this talent for watching NBA and analyzing it and knowing, certainly it seems like he's almost like you're a Nostradamus Nigel, you would know. Game respects game. You think that he would expound on what he's saying, or I think that's the word for it.
Yeah.
Expand
upon what he's saying.
Yeah, expand upon what he's saying, or offer some sort of analysis, some sort of reasoning. And I'm not saying he has to, but until he does that, people are going to be viewing him as the guy that just cuts promos.
No.
Just cuts promos.
You know why he doesn't do that?
What's that?
Because every time he tells us what his plan is, we all call him crazy. We call him nuts. We call him a madman, and we say it's not going to happen. It's never going to happen. Everyone doubts him. He should not tell us his plan. Who cares what the people say?
That's another option.
He should just go for it.
That's another option.
If he tells us what his plan is, we'll be like, oh, you're crazy. That's never going to happen. He's like, okay, I'm going to keep my mouth shut, and I'm just going to go do it. And you know what? I respect that. LaVar Ball, the same way that LeBron James plays basketball like it's chess, that's what LaVar Ball does.
I think it's essential. I think this man is essential to the basketball world. I tend to disagree. I mean, sure, if he just did stuff and he didn't talk about it and it kind of came out of nowhere, if we had no prior knowledge of Lonzo, right, making it to the league, and then LaMelo making it to the league after he went overseas, that would be pretty cool. But it's even better to have a mind like this that can cut a promo, can talk a little, is a wild card. Let's be real. He's a wild card.
Absolutely.
Calling his shot. That's why people like McGregor. He's a guy like, and obviously McGregor's like a world-class athlete, but it's the same thing. But at the end of the day, when that man is in the world of the NBA,
LaVar,
we're all better for it. I think if he just showed a little bit more of that mind that I know is there, that understands, that is intelligent, that knows people's strengths, people's weaknesses, he knows how to play into a crowd. If he shows more of that intelligence, I think he'd be better off for it. So I guess in finality, LaVar Ball, surprisingly one of the better basketball minds I'd say in the community. I don't want to say amongst the players or the staff or the coaching staff,
No,
because he's not at that
no.
level. But at the very least, it takes somewhat of a nugget of intelligence to understand that people view you as the anti-hero and to step into that role and play it consistently on a night-to-night basis. And that's what he does.
I love it. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.